Did you know that not all horses are as gentle as they look? Some stand quietly in a field, nuzzling children at petting zoos posing for postcards. But others kick with enough force to shatter a human skull, have never once been tamed in their entire evolutionary history, or, according to real historical records, once caused an actual war between two empires. In this video, we count down 6 horses that are far more dangerous than their calm, majestic image suggests, from a pony small enough for a toddler to ride, to a species so wild it has never been fully domesticated even once. Stay until the very end, because the last horse on this list isn't dangerous because of a kick or a bite. It's dangerous because of what humans were willing to do just to own one, including sending tens of thousands of soldiers to their deaths. Let's start with the one that fools people the most. Shetland ponies are often the very first animal children ride at a petting zoo. Standing barely over 3 feet tall, with a thick shaggy coat and round gentle eyes, they look like a living stuffed animal. But ask any experienced horse trainer, and they'll tell you Shetland ponies have one of the worst temperaments in the entire equine world. Because of their small size, many owners fail to train or discipline them properly, assuming something this cute couldn't possibly cause real harm. That assumption is exactly what makes them dangerous. Shetland ponies are known for biting hard enough to break skin, and their kicks, while smaller than a full-sized horse's, are still strong enough to fracture a child's bone. Equestrian safety reports consistently list them among the most common causes of minor horse-related injuries at petting zoos and farms, specifically because people underestimate them. If a pony this small can already catch people off guard, imagine what happens when you're dealing with a horse that was never tamed in the first place. Every horse you've ever ridden, from a racehorse to a farm workhorse, descends from animals that have been domesticated for thousands of years. Except for one. The Przewalski's horse, native to the steppes of Mongolia, is the only horse species on the planet that has never been successfully domesticated, not once in all of recorded history. Genetically, it's actually distinct from the domestic horse with a different number of chromosomes, stocky, short-legged, with an upright mane and a temperament that has stayed essentially wild for tens of thousands of years. Przewalski's horses do not respond to human handling the way domestic horses do. Zoos and conservation reserves that house them treat every interaction with extreme caution. These horses have been known to bite, kick, and charge handlers without warning, driven by instincts that were never bred out of them. The species was actually extinct in the wild by the 1960s, and every living Przewalski's horse today descends from a small group, preserved in captivity, later reintroduced to protected reserves in Mongolia and China. It's a rare case of a species surviving specifically because humans couldn't tame it. But the next horse on this list isn't wild by nature. It became dangerous because of what happens when horses are left with no one in charge at all. Across the American West, herds of Mustangs still roam free, descendants of horses that escaped or were released by Spanish colonizers and Native American tribes centuries ago. They've become a symbol of freedom and wilderness in American culture, but that symbol comes with real physical danger. Mustangs live in strict herd hierarchies enforced through biting and kicking. Stallions fighting for dominance over a herd will rear up, bite each other's necks, and strike with their front hooves hard enough to break bones. When humans get too close to a wild herd, especially during breeding season, that same aggression can turn toward people without warning. Wildlife. Officials in states like Nevada and Wyoming regularly warn hikers and photographers to keep a distance of at least 50 yards from wild Mustang herds. A horse that has never been trained to tolerate human presence sees you as either a threat or a rival. and both reactions can end in a serious kick to the chest or head. If an untrained wild herd can be this dangerous, imagine an entire population of feral horses left to multiply completely unchecked, not in the desert, but on an entire continent where they were never supposed to exist. In the mountains and outback of Australia live the Brumbies. Feral horses descended from domestic animals brought over by European settlers more than 2 centuries ago. With no natural predators on the continent, their population has exploded, and so has the danger they pose. Brumbies aren't just a threat through direct contact. Large herds crossing rural highways at night have caused serious vehicle collisions, some of them fatal, since a full-grown horse weighing over 500 kilograms colliding with a car at highway speed is roughly equivalent to hitting a small wall. Beyond road accidents, Brumby stallions defending territory have injured hikers and farmers who wandered too close to a herd. Australian wildlife authorities have debated population control measures for years, precisely because an animal most people associate with gentle beauty has become one of the country's most persistent and physically dangerous invasive species. But raw numbers and unpredictability are nothing compared to a horse whose danger comes purely from its size and strength alone. Clydesdales are famous for pulling beer wagons in commercials with their feathered legs and calm, dignified expressions. Bred originally for hauling heavy loads in Scotland, they can weigh close to a ton, nearly the weight of a small car. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Horse-related injuries and deaths in the United States are more common than most people realize. And heavier draft breeds like the Clydesdale are involved in a disproportionate number of the most serious cases. Agricultural safety studies have found that a single kick from a draft horse can generate enough force to be lethal. And because Clydesdales are so calm and trusted around humans, handlers are often less cautious around them than they would be with a more visibly high-strung horse. It's not aggression that makes the Clydesdale dangerous. It's sheer physics. A half-ton animal doesn't need to be angry to cause fatal harm. It just needs to be startled, or for a handler to be standing in the wrong place at the wrong moment. And that brings us to a horse whose danger has nothing to do with kicking, biting, or physical size at all. This is the one I promised you. Somewhere in the mountains of what is now Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan, there's a horse breed so striking that Chinese historical records describe it sweating what looked like blood, giving it the name that survives to this day, Hangshui Baoma, the blood-sweating horse. Modern researchers believe this appearance came from a skin parasite that caused visible blood vessels to burst near the surface as the horse ran, making its sweat appear reddish under sunlight. In ancient China more than 2,000 years ago, Emperor Wu of the Han Dynasty became obsessed with this horse after hearing reports of its extraordinary speed and endurance. He wanted it for one reason: to build cavalry powerful enough to finally defeat the Xiongnu nomads who had threatened China's northern border for generations. Emperor Wu sent envoys loaded with gold to the kingdom of Dayuan in the Fergana Valley to buy the horses. According to the historian Sima Qian, the Dayuan nobility refused, insulted the Han envoys, and in some accounts had them killed and their gold stolen. Emperor Wu, humiliated, did something almost unthinkable over a horse. He declared war. The first Han expedition, sent in the year 104 BCE under General Li Guangli, ended in disaster, decimated by the brutal journey across Central Asia, before it even reached Daiwan's capital. Furious, Emperor Wu doubled down, sending a second force of roughly 60,000 troops. This time, after a prolonged siege, Daiwan surrendered, handing over dozens of their finest horses and thousands more of lesser breeding. Historical estimates suggest that of the tens of thousands of soldiers sent on this campaign, Only a small fraction ever made it back to China alive, decimated less by combat and more by starvation, disease, and the sheer distance of the march through hostile desert terrain. All of it, historians agree, driven substantially by the emperor's desire for this one horse breed, which he personally named Tianma, the heavenly horse. That horse still exists today. Modern experts widely believe the Akal Teke, a breed still found in Turkmenistan and Central Asia, prized for its metallic, almost glowing coat and unmatched endurance, is the direct descendant of the very horses Emperor Wu went to war for. It's a breed so tied to national pride that Turkmenistan still puts its image on official state emblems today. A horse that never kicked an emperor, never bit a soldier, and yet became directly responsible for one of the deadliest and most obsessive military campaigns in ancient Chinese history, all because of how badly one man wanted to own it. So there they are. 6 horses that prove even the most majestic, trusted animal on the planet can be far more dangerous than it looks. From a pony small enough to fit through a doorway, to a legendary breed that once dragged tens of thousands of soldiers across a desert to their deaths, horses might be one of the most underestimated animals in human history. Which of these 6 surprised you the most? Was it the Przewalski's horse that's never been tamed, or the Akal Teke's connection to a real ancient war? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. If this video changed the way you look at horses forever, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. And if you want more stories like this,